First question is coming in from Lil Frog. What player in the draft this year do you think will be a bust?
Ooh, this is tough. So usually
Justin Fields.
3 quarterbacks work out in the first round. There are probably going to be 5 quarterbacks taken. So I think Justin Fields has the potential to bust. For a quarterback, it's all about where you go. So one of these quarterbacks, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, they're going to go to a horrific destination like what happened to Sam Darnold going to the New York Jets, and that's going to ruin their career. We see that so often with these quarterbacks. So I think Justin Fields is a good candidate. Maybe one of the offensive linemen potentially too. Sometimes they can just get plagued by injuries.
Wide receivers is also
wide receivers too, because everybody becomes so obsessed with the 40 time. Mitch goes Justin Fields. I think that's a solid option. One of the quarterbacks for me, and I think that 3 work out and 2 of the 5 are actually good who get drafted in the first round.
Super chat coming in from Vernon Spate. So he's sending a $10 super chat. So Chase, I'm going to need y'all to answer this one. Falcons trade 2022nd pick to Bills for Lee Smith. The restructured contracts for both Matt Ryan and Fowler. What's their cap and who can they afford? All right, that's a tough question. So
well, I got it. So Matt Ryan restructured his contract, and his contract for the upcoming season has gone down from about like $42 million or somewhere in that neighborhood. I've never been good at math, to about $27 million. So that lessens the cap number for the Falcons heading into this season. But again, it's important to note that with the cap situation, with all of the financials, with all of these roster transactions, like that number is going to be interchanging. But with Matt Ryan restructuring his contract, it helps the Falcons cap number here in 2021. And it also potentially might take them out of the running for a quarterback in the first round. And there were a lot of rumors that Atlanta could possibly target one, but Matt Ryan is probably going to be with Atlanta for the next 2 or 3 years.
So I had to spin the roulette wheel and had to take a sip of beer. Burning Spades, appreciate the super chat. Every $10 super chat, we will go ahead and spin the roulette wheel. All right, if you guys want more NFL coverage, we got you covered here. Go ahead and subscribe to Chat Sports for daily NFL videos. Essentially, we drop a new video literally like every 3 hours. And if there's breaking news, we're going to keep you updated. You want an interactive YouTube channel that goes live every single week? We're the channel for you. You want a channel that has 2 random dudes sipping beer on St. Patrick's Day? We're the channel for you. If you're colorblind, it's not going to be a big red button. It's going to be a lightly gray button underneath the video, though. So hit that button and turn on those notifications. That way you don't miss a thing. Next one's coming in is from Thomas. Rodney Hudson went to the Cardinals for a 3rd-round pick. You are 100% right. Here is the trade that he is talking about. Raiders receive a 3rd-round pick. The Arizona Cardinals, they get Rodney Hudson and a 7th-round pick. Super chat coming in from Sports Fan. What is Seattle doing? They couldn't give up a 3rd, 5th, and a 6th for Hudson. Done. You want to take that?
It's Hudson.
Yes, it is.
Just to clear that up.
Not
everybody out there is a great speller. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think Russell Wilson gets dealt, but he made it clear to the Seattle brass that he wants offensive line help. And one of the big questions during free agency has been Seattle not targeting or signing any offensive linemen.
Seriously.
So from Sports Fan, appreciate the super chat. I agree with you. What the hell is Seattle doing not providing Russell Wilson with offensive line help?
This one's coming in from Sam Boyle. Can't trust anybody with that name. Thoughts on Dante Fowler taking a pay cut? I'll tell you what, I actually like the fact that he ended up doing this. It helps out Atlanta a lot. So he signed a 3-year, $48 million deal with Atlanta last offseason. He was supposed to make $18.54 million in 2021. However, Fowler will now make $13 million next season. So, obviously, it's a pretty interesting situation here, but I'm glad that he ultimately did that. But, yes, Dante Fowler is going to take a pay cut. I thought it was a smart thing to do.
Yeah, me too. And this is a pretty good player. Look, I feel like a lot of people don't realize this. NFL contracts are full of fluff. So you might see a player signed for like 3 years, $50 million, and you're like, oh my gosh, he's going to get $50 million. Always look at guaranteed money, but also you have to factor in this after a couple of years, or in Dante Fowler's case, after a single season. These contracts can always be restructured, and sometimes they're done for the good of the team. That's what happened here with Fowler in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought it was a good move here. Hopefully Atlanta can get a little bit more value. Super chat coming in from Dale Webb Jr. to the Raiders draft Christian Barmore at 17. I'll tell you what, the more and more I see this, the more and more I'm starting to think, you got the die? Do I have the die? I don't know.
Die's right here.
All right, we got the green die. It's St. Patty's Day, so I owe you all a drink. I'll tell you what, with the moves that they made, bringing back Nicholas Morrow, but they did re-sign Jonathan Hankins, I'm not 100% sure if Christian Barmore is going to be the pick at 17. It might actually be going out and getting a right tackle like somebody like Christian Darrisaw, but I wouldn't be upset about Christian Barmore at 17. There's no doubt about it, Dale. You want to weigh in?
Christian Barmore would be ideal. I thought he just ruined and wrecked games at Alabama last year. I know that's one of your favorite prospects. Christian Barmore at 17, great pick for the Raiders if they go that route and if he's available.
Actually, also, Dale, I mean, this just came in, so the Raiders are also expected to have former Bills defensive tackle Quentin Jefferson in for a visit. If they also go out and sign another defensive tackle, maybe they don't go this route. Super chat coming in from Travis Dolly. I owe a super chat, so I go a sip of beer, you answer the question, and then I got to drink whatever the heck comes up here.
It's a good pickup for the Detroit Lions, and hey, I know the prerequisite on the resume for a lot of these players that Dan Campbell wants to bring in, you have to bite people's kneecaps off and stuff like that. Michael Brockers is still a really good defensive player. What's funny, actually, is he's coming to Detroit from the Rams. When the Rams acquired Matthew Stafford, he basically said, we got Stafford now. That's a huge upgrade over Jared Goff. Well, now he gets to link back up with Jared Goff. So they might have to have a conversation in the locker room, and Michael Brockers might have to say, I'm sorry, Jared. I didn't mean it, even though he totally did. But some awkwardness there, but no, to be honest and for real, I do like the pickup as Detroit just tries to build, and I actually like some of the moves that they're doing in Dan Campbell's first year.
So I had to spin the roulette wheel. It came up 2 sips of beer, so I'm going to take 2 sips of beer. While I'm doing that, Chase, tell people why they should follow you on Twitter.
Hey, give me a follow on Twitter at Chase_Senior. Here at Chat Sports, I'll be covering the NBA, the NFL, teams, league-wide stuff that's going on. Also, I like to insert some humor, too. And it's my understanding, and it's my opinion, that some of the hottest takes on the Twitter streets come from your boy here at Chase_Senior. So I know the goal for me was to get like 10 Twitter followers. We are at that number already,
okay,
and I want to increase that. So I'm at 3,495. Can we get to 3,500? Help out your boy here at Chase_Senior. And the thing is, it's consistent on Twitter and Instagram. Same handle for both. So there you go.
Next one's coming in from Drew Forgy. Saw that the Broncos were interested in Sam Darnold. Is this true? Also, who is better, Darnold or Locke? From what I've seen, I don't actually think that they were interested in Sam Darnold. I think that if they're going to go that route, you just stick with Drew Lock, who's a young quarterback. If they were going to bring in somebody, I actually thought it was either going to be like a Deshaun Watson or a little bit of a veteran. But how about this, Chase? And I want everyone to weigh in as well. Who's the better quarterback? If you could start with the team right now, with the Denver Broncos roster, would you rather rock and roll with Drew Lock, or would you go with Sam Darnold, type SD for Sam, or type DL for Drew Lock? Where are you going?
10 times out of 10, I'm going with Sam Darnold.
Oh, my God.
I talk about where a player goes, maybe deciding the fate of his NFL career. If Sam Darnold didn't go to the hapless Jets, if he didn't have an incompetent coach in Adam Gase coaching him, I think Sam Darnold would actually be a really good player right now. Sam Darnold is much better than Drew Lock, and I know Sam Brown, who's a baller producing for us, give him a follow too on Twitter, loves the Denver Broncos. He might be high on Drew Lock. Sam Darnold is the better player. Let's not joke around here.
Man.
And if he gets and links up with a better coach, you're going to see the best come out of Sam Darnold. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. Clip this, save it, and holler at your boy later when I'm right.
What up, John? Shout out my Chat Sports fave, H. Graham. Excuse me, bear down.
$2 for that. $2 for the shout out.
Shout out to H. Graham. It's an actual picture of Harrison as well on screen. All right, y'all, if you want to hit me up on IG, I'm at MitchellRentz365. We're live right now. We got 1,400 people watching Chat Sports. This is a live NFL mailbag. Obviously, Chase and I can't get to all y'all's questions, so if you want to hit me up, give me a follow at MitchellRentz365. This one's coming in from Rel Gaither. Since the Raiders released Rodney Hudson, thoughts on the Seahawks signing him? So, unfortunately, Rodney Hudson was actually traded to the Arizona Cardinals here. So, originally, the rumor was that he was released. It's all good, Rel. Maybe you weren't joining us a little bit earlier on in the show, but he was traded to the Arizona Cardinals, and they ended up swapping picks. So, the Raiders ended up getting a third-round pick. The Arizona Cardinals got a seventh-round pick. But Rodney Hudson, one of the best centers in the league, was traded to the Arizona Cardinals. Super chat coming in from Fernando. Will Watson get traded from Houston? I don't think it's going to happen now, but I hope it happens a little bit later on. We'll see what ultimately does happen. But I do owe a drink from earlier on, so Chase, what do you think?
when guys like Mike Silver, and I think his name is John McMullen, the legendary reporter for the Houston Texans, John McClain, when they say trade Watson, and then Mike Silver says earlier today, I think a Watson trade is inevitable and it's going to happen, I think you take stock in that. I think the situation is just going to get to a point where it's unsalvageable, and Houston is going to have to trade him. And man, it's going to be, if it happens, one of the biggest trades in the history of the NFL. Russell Wilson might top it if he gets dealt, which I don't think happens. But I think I've been like 50-50 on this. I'm starting to lean more toward the Texans actually trading him.
Travis Dolly, what do you think Detroit thinks? Do you think they not finish last in the division next year? Well, Travis, if you're a big-time Lions fan, check out our channel, youtube.com/Lions today. You got to answer the question because this is my mailbag where I got to drink. So I'm spinning the roulette wheel right now. I'll let you guys know what it ends up landing on.
So for all the Lions fans out there, I'm so sorry for the decades of purgatory in the NFC North.
You got to drink once.
Now, I mentioned a few minutes ago, if you were joining us, Travis, that I kind of like what Dan Campbell is doing. I know the opening presser wasn't great when he's talking about biting kneecaps off and all that stuff. It was electric, but I'm not sure if I'm a general manager and an owner that I want my head coach saying that in his introductory presser, but I will say that I think he's going to be able to bring a level of toughness to Detroit. But to answer your question, I don't think it's going to happen this year. What Dan Campbell has done, he's been able to build a really formidable coaching staff around him, bringing in guys like Deuce Staley as his assistant head coach, who I think is soon to be a head coach in the NFL.
Agreed.
So I don't know if the Lions turnaround happens in 1 year. They might be in the cellar for the NFC North this upcoming season. But I think they're starting to turn things around a little bit. And a lot of the pressure is going to be on Jared Goff, who I actually think is going to be a pretty solid option for Detroit.
Speaking of turning things around, if you guys can all take a second and look at his profile picture, I think Froggy over there is definitely turning around Miss Piggy a few times. Shout out to the creative picture.
Nice.
Love our YouTube subscribers. Vernon Spades coming in for producer Sam. So, Sam, if you want to turn your mic on, if you want to take this one over, what is the best and worst move for your Broncos? So the voice that y'all are about to hear, it's not me, it's not Chase. It's going to be Sam, who runs our Broncos channel, youtube.com/Broncos TV. I'm going to spin the roulette wheel. Chase, you're going to drink a sip of beer, and we're going to see what happens here. Sam, talk to us.
I won't be too quick about it, or too slow, too long.
Sounds like it.
Nice English, Sam.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's my strong suit. My first language, actually. Sign or draft a cornerback still with CB1 upside. Drink 5 times? Nice. Sign or draft a cornerback with CB1 upside. Draft a linebacker on day 2, ideally, or find one of the top ones left, although I wanted Levante David. That won't happen. And then at that point, you're just making little signings here and there, filling in spots. I don't expect anything too major, unless they trade for Deshaun Watson, which would make my year.
Check out Sam being like Stanford Steve and the Bear. Behind the scenes,
right?
pushing all the buttons and then bringing the heat with the analysis.
I have no idea the reference you
Next
just
level.
made, so I'm just going to nod my head and say,
Stanford
yeah,
Steve
I totally
is
agree.
the producer for Scott Van Pelt, and the Bear is on College Game Day. He's kind of like their their betting go-to guy,
I don't watch
but
TV.
also a producer.
The more and more you'll see
because you're
about
working
me,
so much.
I don't. Yeah,
that's it.
That's true.
All I needed behind me is a board to slap my bets on.
Boom. Good better.
Next
too.
one's coming in here is from D-Man Dooney. Since the Niners signed Alex Mack and re-signed Trent Williams, do you draft a cornerback, wide receiver, or trade back? #49ers. So, wow, I needed that. All right, so since the Niners signed Alex Mack and re-signed Trent Williams, do you draft a cornerback? So what? They're at pick number 12 here.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that still wants them to trade up for a quarterback or draft a quarterback? I would love Trey Lance to the 49ers, man.
That would be absolutely
Would
electric.
absolutely love it. If you guys are big-time 49ers fans, go ahead and subscribe. It's youtube.com/49ers TV.